Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and well, an intriguing puzzle today that celebrates Tristan's 40th birthday. I think the constructor created this for Tristan, who is Zetamath's partner and is a fantastic moderator on our streams. So this is the ideal moment to mention that we'll be streaming tomorrow. We'll be going back to the game Taiji, which you can see here if I move it into shot there. This is a character controlled by Simon wandering around a Japanese garden world and solving puzzles, and we'll be streaming that from 10 p.m. tomorrow our time. That's going to be probably 5 p.m. Eastern time in the States. You can figure it out for yourself from those two benchmarks. And yeah, we're looking forward to that. Tristan, I hope, will be moderating if he has the opportunity to, but also thanks to our other regular moderators, Riff Clown and Alex Meadows, who are brilliant at doing that job. There are a number of people I like to shout out on the channel every now and then. There's Vebi, who maintains the spreadsheet that shows all of the catalogue of our videos. At the moment, there's Sven, of course, who created the software we play in every day, and it is fantastic. We do recommend that you get hold of Sven's Sudoku pad for a couple of dollars and download it. It is excellent to play your own Sudoku puzzles on, amongst other things. What else can the testers who work for us voluntarily and do a great job. Yeah, and others who help out, including Emily. Thank you very much to everybody. Now, I'm going to also thank, here we go, Glum Hippo, who has created the puzzle hunt that we're going to be bringing to you next. So this is the prize that he has paid for and sourced from Yarnworks by Ella. It's a hippo plushie, suitably glum looking. But I don't think you will be glum when you've tried the hunt, which is paleontology based. It's going to be based on, oops, let me get that picture in the right place. There we go. It's based on fossils and things like that, but it's also based on the Sudoku rule of XY differences. That will be coming out in 2 days' time. We will bring that to you on Patreon. So that's for the $2 and above patrons. $3 and above patrons get access to solution videos in due course. And you can check out the previous hunts already, including solution videos. We haven't actually put up the last few solution videos to Jay Dyer's rather incredible numeric alchemy hunt, but they will be coming. And also on Patreon, there's things like crossword content, other puzzles. Do check it out. And on the main channel, I mean, in the description field, you can find your way to all of our apps and even our merchandise. Now, this puzzle is the first link under this video, 40 or 40, because, in fact, we did a 40 puzzle that I think was by Simon, and we commemorated, I think it was Maria's husband's age being 40, and now we have Tristan, I guess, being 40, and there was a similar aspect to the rule set, but I think this one promises to be, well, it's slightly more complicated. This is by, now, I've been told to pronounce this Doomed Yacht, so I have an actual Doomed Yacht, and maybe that vowel, actually, given what we've been doing in Cracking the Linguistic on the gas videos, maybe I should say Doomed Yacht. But anyway, that is the constructor. Simon did a very difficult puzzle by Doomed Yacht on his video a few days ago. I'm hoping this is a bit easier, but we will find out. So let's have a look at the rules. The rules are these. Normal Sudoku rules apply. That means we put 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. Digits joined by a white dot are consecutive. Digits joined by a black dot have a 1 to 2 ratio. Those are what we call Kropki rules from the Polish for dots. Not all dots are necessarily given. Now, a clue outside the grid shows either the sum of the digits between the 1 and the 9 in that row or column, including 1 and 9. So that's a variation on the normal sandwich rule where you normally don't count the digits from 1 to 9. So if you had, for instance, 1 here and 9 here, then these digits would all add up to 40. That's what this is saying. If this clue was a sandwich clue. Alternatively, however, it may be an X sums clue, counting the first X cells from that direction where X is the first digit seen. So if that was an 8, these 8 would add up to 40. So it's one or the other, and the solver must determine which constraint applies to each clue. So I think the Simon puzzle was all X sums. So this is a bit different from that, in that it could be different in each case. Let's see how we get on. It's an intriguing rule set, and going to give it a start now. Let's get cracking. Okay, so where do we start? I don't think the number of crop key dots or the configuration of them is especially useful. I think we're going to have to use the clues outside the grid. And I'm tempted to start, well, I was going to say in box 1, where there are 3 clues that include all of these digits in the rows and columns they're referencing, but actually I think this black dot might be better. So here are some things I know about black dots, that only the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 8 can go on them, because 5, 7 and 9 can't have a 2-to-1 relationship with any other Sudoku digit. Here are some things I know about X sums based on a secret that I wish to share with you, that every row, column and box of a regular Sudoku adds up to the same number, and that number is 45. I know it's exciting, but that's relevant. In an X sums clue, that means the digits that you're not adding as you count along the row or the column would add up to 5, and I'm going to call them the outies. They're the digits outside the sum. And that means in a row or column that says 40, in an X sums row or column, the outies at the end of the row or column add up to 5. And that means they're either 1 cell or 2 cells, because 3 cells would always add up to 6 or more. And that means that the X referenced at the start of the clue is either 8 or 7. So if this is an X sums clue, we've got an 8 there. That would be connected by a black dot to a 4. And because of the outie situation, this would be a 5. So that's all possible. But I'm now going to try considering, not really worrying about the black dot for now, but how would a sandwich clue work with this sandwich rule? Now, with the normal sandwich Sudoku, where you're not counting the 1 and the 9, 35 is the highest clue. And obviously, it's not the normal rule because all the clues are 40, which is higher than 35. But again, the outies must add up to 5. Now, what are the outies in the case of a sandwich clue? They're the numbers outside the sandwich. So they're the numbers outside 1 and 9. And again, that could be a pair, which would have to specifically be 2, 3 in the case of a sandwich clue, because the 1 can't be counted. Or it can be a single digit and be a 5. So this, in row 1, this, oh, well, hang on. Oh, that's quite interesting. That means that the first digit, and indeed the last one, in an X sums, no, in a sandwich row or column, could only be one of those possible outies, 2, 3 or 5, or the 1 or the 9. So the first digit in a sandwich row or column with a 40 clue is 1, 2, 3, 5, 8 or 9, and the first digit in an X sums one is 7 or 8. So 4 and 6 can never be the first digit. So that is not 4 or 6. And that means this isn't 8 or 3, I reckon. Now, that's not a very conclusive thing, but it does mean this could be 5. No. Okay, this is interesting. We're going to have to think about the cases for these this intersection, I think. And we're starting with the black dot. Right, so if the black dot starts with a 1, then it's a sandwich 40. You get a 2 here. But, because the 2 has been used on the black dot, the outie cannot be a 2-digit outie because it couldn't use 1 or 2. So it must be a 1-digit outie. You'd have a 9 here and a 5 here. So if we start the row with a 1, that's a 9, that's a 5. If you start the row with a 2, that's one of the outies. Now it is possible for this to be a row starting with a 2, a sandwich row starting with a 2. That would then require this to be, well, the outies would add up to 5. They would be 2 and 3. This can't be a 3. So this would be the 1 or the 9. It would have to be the 1. So you'd go 2, 1. The 9 would be here, and that would be 3. So again, we get the 9 here. This is now 3 or 5, and 3 is a possible start for this column. Okay, I'm still going. If this was a 3, 3 and 2 would be the outies, but this would be 6, and that would break. So it can't start with a 3. So that's not a 6. That would take the outies up to 9. So if it starts with an 8, then it's an X sums clue, and that's a 5. So the only possibilities for this cell are 3 and 5. Now, 9 is certain here if this is a sandwich clue, but if it's an X sums clue, it could be anything, which is annoying. But there we go, some crosses we have to bear. But now we know this is 3 or 5, and that makes this column into a sandwich clue. It doesn't begin with 7 or 8, so it's not an X sums clue. It's a sandwich clue, and 3 or 5 is an outie. Now, if it's 5, that would be 1 and 9. That's impossible because 5 can't have a white dot relationship with a 1 or a 9. So that is 3. And this is 2, and they are the two outies adding up to 5. And 1 and 9 go in those positions. And that 3 goes back here. That was going to happen if this was a 2 to start with. 3 is the other outie. We get a 1 there, and we get a 9 here, and that decides the 1 and the 9. What a lovely start. That's such an interesting interaction. You use the black dot, and then these two, this row and this column, and that's how we get going. Now, these can't be 4 or 6. They're the numbers we've shown can't begin a row or column with a 40 in. This maybe? Yeah, okay. Right. Okay, the normal beginning cells, oh no, the normal black dot cells are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. This clearly can't be a 2 by Sudoku. If it was a 1, that would have to be a 2, so that's impossible. It's not a 1. Now we've said that 4 and 6 cannot begin these rows with, they can't be either sandwich or X sums clues, so we're down to 3 or 8. If it's an 8, those add up to 40, and that's a 5. If it's a 3, it's a sandwich clue, and that won't work for a beautiful reason this time, because this would either be the outie or the 1 or the 9, and the other outie would be a 2, and therefore it would have to be 1, 2 or 9, and it can't be. So that is not a 3, that is an 8. That is an X sum clue, it has a 5 at the end. This is a 4 on the black dot. Now this one, oh no, this is not on a black dot, so we can't do the whole same trick. Right, this white dot has to have an even number on, because every white dot has consecutive numbers. One of them must be odd and one even. The even number on this one is a 6. So, oh, that's nice. So it's either a 5-6 pair or a 6-7 pair, but this cell can't be a 6 because 4 and 6 can never begin the 40 rows. So that's not the 6, this is the 6. That's not a 40 row, obviously, because it begins with 6. Now, if this was a 5, that would be a sandwich clue and would be an outie and would have a 9 here. If this was a 7, it would be a an X sum clue, those would add up to 40, these would add up to 5, and that would be a 4. So both of those are possible. I can't rule those out. Now what about this clue? If that was... No, what about this clue next? That's better, because of this 9. Oh, this can't be an X sum clue, because the outies are already adding up to at least 9, and they can only add up to 5. So this is a sandwich clue. This can't be a 1, or you'd add the whole row together for the sandwich. That would be 45. So this is an outie. And it's therefore 2, 3, or 5, and 1 appears in one of these cells to make the sandwich up, but we've got a 1 there, so 1 has to be here. This is a pair of cells adding up to 5 that don't include 1. It's 2 and 3. We get a 3 in 2 corners, losing their religions. This doesn't use 1, 2, or 3. It's a black dot. It's 4 and 8. This is a 5, 6, 7 triple. So that clue is done. This clue is done. This clue is done. This clue is done. We've still got these 3. Now we've got a 1 at the end of this column. So if it's a sandwich clue, that's a 5, because this must be an outie, and they only add up to 5. That would be a 5, that would be a 9. If it is an X sum clue, it can't begin with an 8, because that would be all the outies. In fact, it can't begin with a 7 either, because that would be a 4 to make the outies add up to 5. So that is a 5. It is a sandwich clue. That's the outie. We get a 9 there, and now those must add up to 40 to obey the clue. That becomes a 7, and that is now an X sums clue. This is a 4 to make the outies add up to 5. This is not a 5. It is an X sums clue. And it can't be a 7, because you can't make those two add up to 5 given the candidates at the bottom. It's an 8. The one at the bottom is a 5. That's the outie. And now I think we have finished using all the clues in the puzzle. All the clues... No, we haven't. We finished using all the clues outside the puzzle, which is different. 5, 9 there by Sudoku. This is a 6, 7 pair. This sequence must be 2, 3, 4. With a 3 in the middle, 2, 4 there. That gives us an 8 up here. We can place 4 and 3 in box 1, which is our first completed box. This is 6 or 7. That is 5 or 6. Now, which black dot should I focus on? Don't know. Let's do Sudoku instead. This is a 6, 7, 8 triple. That's a 1, 5, 9 triple. I haven't really got a lot of information about those. These are from 4, 6, 7. Okay, this is a black dot number, and it's not 1, 3, 4, or 8. So it's 2 or 6. 2 would go with 4 or 1 here, but it can't be 4. 6 would go with 3. Now here's something I know about Kropki dots that I often forget, which is that a 1 can never be in the middle of a sequence of 3 where they all see each other. And that is because any digit a 1 joins to on a white or a black Kropki dot is a 2. And they can't both be 2s when they can see each other. So that is a 3. That makes this a 6. I think this has to be 4. That's 7. That's 6. 5. We've got a 7, 8 pair. 1, 5 pair in the row, a 2, 9 pair in the next row. Oh, that 1, 5 pair looks down to the bottom of the grid if I manage to see that far, and gets fixed. The 6 looks down to the bottom and fixes those. This 4, not that way round at the bottom. 8, 7 at the top. Now this pair, yes, can't use a 6 or a 4 or an 8. Select from 1, 2, 3. It must be a 1, 2 pair. And then the white dot connecting to a 1, 2 pair that sees them both has to be a 3. So that fixes the 2 and the 1 straight away. The 2 fixes 4 and 2 over here. Can't do these yet. Let's do this column, 9 and a 3, 7 pair. This column, we've got a 2, 1 pair at the bottom and a 5, 6 pair above. Not getting those resolved, but they're definitely going to help in a moment. 4, 7, 8, that's a 6. That looks across. 7 and 6. The 7 looks across and reveals 7 and 3. This white dot can't be 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9. In fact, this cell can't be 4 or 3, so that's 1 or 2, which doesn't help with that. Let's look at this one. Can't use 3, 4, 6 or 7. So it also can't use 5. So it's either a 1, 2 pair or an 8, 9 pair, but it can't be a 1, 2 pair or it would break this cell below it. So it's a 9, 8 pair, and thanks to the 9 we know which way round they go. That's nice. I mean, I'm going to call that the finish. That is a really nice finish. The 5 in the column goes there. That's 1 or 2. And now we get exactly the same situation as we had on the black white dot over here, because we know that's a 1, 2 pair. This has to be 3 to connect to one of them. And actually that's going to resolve this apparent deadly pattern of 1s and 2s. It is if I don't put them all in the wrong cells. 2 and 1 there, 2 and 1 there. We get a 4 to finish the row. 9 and 8 resolve 9 and 2, and I've just got rows 4, 5, 6 to do. We can put in, what should we do? What order should we do these in? Let's look for the 9. There it is. That fixes the triple on the left. The 5 fixes the pair in column 8. Does that resolve this triple? No, nor this one. Okay, let's do this. This is 3, 7, 6. So 7 in the middle, 6 above and 3 there. Now presumably we can do this 6, 7, 8 triple. Yes. 8, 7, 6. And then we can go across to the right hand side and do the 8, 7, 4 triple. And now we've just got one triple that we've never looked at, which are 1, 2 and 4 in that order. And that is quite a straightforward puzzle today. That's nice. I mean, there's a very nice break in where you just have to do the thinking. I was very glad I did the thinking, which I nearly didn't bother to do, about learning that 4s and 6s couldn't begin the rows and columns that had the 40 clue, because that was incredibly helpful as it turns out. But that's a really nice puzzle. And I think, I'm not sure if I remember Doomed Yut saying that they created it very quickly, but it is a very good puzzle, and yeah, quite approachable today instead of the genuinely approachable of yesterday. But thank you very much for watching as always, and we very much hope to see you again tomorrow on the channel. Bye for now.